Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me this Friday morning for our FireLight webinar. My name is Amber Williams, and I manage our annuity services team. My team's responsible for all new business-related issues, from application review to policy issue to annuity service requests. As many of you know who have written business with the IAMS, you know and understand that we're dedicated to handling your business, and we work with carriers to expedite and escalate any issues as needed until that business is issued. We like to call this a little process called submission to commission. We're going to talk about FireLight this morning, our FireLight integration, and I'm excited to talk about that. But before we get started, I wanted to ensure that everyone had received the announcement about our double trip credits for our exclusive Athene trip to the Montage in Cabo San Lucas, Los Cabos specifically. This is an amazing property. It's a luxury hotel located in a quiet cove on one of the only swimmable beaches in Cabo, and it's definitely a trip that you'll want to be on that qualification list for. If you're doing your Athene business with IAMS, all of your premium in November and December will count for double trip credits for this trip. Again, it's an exclusive trip for IAMS producers only, and you can only qualify by doing your Athene business with IAMS. That qualification started a few months ago, so started in July 1st, and runs through the end of June of 2020. So there's plenty of time to qualify, and we'd love to have you join us on this fabulous trip. Any questions at all, please feel free to call our office. You can speak with any of our annuity sales directors or any of our life sales directors as well. We'll also be announcing our location for our next top producers escape very soon. That qualification started in July as well and runs through December of 2020. Lots of time to qualify there. Double trip credits for November and December. So any questions on that, please feel free to give us a call as well. Want to move on a little bit to the IAMS website. So for any of you who are currently utilizing this website, you know that it's a great resource for information. There's annuity and life product information, sales tools, illustrations, and forms. And now it's also going to be a great resource for submitting business. The IAMS website will be your one-stop shop. So what does this mean for you? This is where our FireLight integration comes into play. You now have access to FireLight through our IAMS website as a single sign-on. If you're currently submitting e-applications, no longer do you have to go to different carrier websites or worry about using outdated paperwork. That system takes into account everything right for you. We're very excited about the FireLight integration. It's something we've been working on for quite some time, and we know it's going to be a valuable tool for you as writing agents as you're submitting business. We constantly are looking for ways to improve our services and making doing business with IAMS easier when it comes to writing business, and we're confident that this is going to be one of the ways to make that business even easier. There are definitely some distinct advantages of utilizing FireLight. It's a quick and easy way to complete applications, obtain signatures electronically, and submit business to the carrier. This ensures you'll always have the correct paperwork. I can tell you that every week we get paperwork that's outdated, whether the carrier's updated a disclosure or a suitability form, and it's unfortunate, but those carriers require those updated forms, which means another trip for you to see your client. So this system will always make sure that it pulls the correct forms for you. It's almost like having a personal assistant who alerts you whenever you've missed completing a question on a form, so that your paperwork goes in to the carrier in good order the first time around. And when your paperwork arrives in good order at the carrier, it's processed without those delays, which is a great thing, of course. Many of our core carriers are currently available on FireLight. You can see the list here. We've got a handful of carriers, or more than a handful, that we are working on getting live in our FireLight instance. The next carrier to go live will be Equitable Life with their MIGA product, which has been quite competitive. That equitable secure savings product will hopefully be live in the FireLight instance on the IAMS website here in the next couple of days. And then, of course, we'll have those other carriers coming soon. I'd like to walk through a couple of screenshots for those of you who are not familiar with FireLight, so you have an idea of what to expect when you get started. The first step really is to get registered on our website. There are some steps that our team has to do internally to enable your FireLight access. So by registering here on our website, you can click on the eApp Solutions at the top here, and then click on the Submit button after you've completed this information. We'll get that process turned around and get you approved really pretty quickly. When you're ready to submit an application or start your first e-application, you'll click on the eApp Solutions again right at the top there, and then click on this FireLight icon to get started. That will bring you to the dashboard of FireLight, and you'll notice this dashboard displays recent activity here. This activity stays on this dashboard for 60 days. So whether you've started a new application and you haven't completed the signing ceremony, or maybe you have submitted an application fully to the carrier, any activities that are done in the last 60 days will stay right there on that recent activity screen. After which time they'll move, to the all activities section over here. But to get started with an application, you'll click right here to start new, and from there you'll collect the information that you'll be needing for the application, such as which state you'll be writing it in, which product type, whether it's an annuity or a life product, and then of course which carrier it is that you'll be selecting. You'll choose the product that's available in those states or in that specific state, and the FireLight system will then build the required forms for you. This system is an intuitive system, which means if you start to fill out the application and you have a trust as an owner, the system will then populate the trust verification form, which so many of the carriers do require. Or if it's a non-resident form, for instance, you're signing an application in Nebraska, but the system identifies the address for the client is in Iowa, it'll pre-populate that non-resident form for you as well. Here's the first page of the application, and you'll notice that there's some fields highlighted in red. And as you complete this information and tab down to the other sections, such as once you complete your agent and producer code and the agent and producer name, and tab down, this following section will become highlighted. And you'll continue to complete the application in all of the highlighted areas and enter all of the data into those required fields. You can toggle in between the pages by clicking these left and right arrows here on each side of the page, and that'll help you navigate through all of the paperwork. One great thing about FireLight is the names, dates of birth, social security numbers, all of that information is pre-populated in the remainder of the document, so you don't have to continue to enter the date of birth on the suitability form or enter the social security number on the disclosure and on the transfer paperwork. This is a huge time saver, and it also removes the possibility of errors by transposing some numbers there, so that's a great advantage for sure. Once you've completed all of the pages of the application, FireLight will alert you of any pages with fields that you may have missed. So for instance, you can click on there's a button there at the top that will highlight any pages that still have fields that have not been completed. Once the application is 100% complete, you'll advance to the signature section. And you've got two options with the signature section. One is to sign now with use the e-signature, or the second option is to send an email request. The send email request option is available to use when a client's not presently in the room or would like more time to review the documents. This option will then send a unique link to the client, a URL link to the client for them to complete, sign, and then return to you. But for this example, we're going to explore the sign now option. So the use e-signature, And the next slide will show us that this brings up the list of required signers. You'll see the owner. Of course, they need to sign the paperwork, and the agent. So you'll click on the owner sign section and go forward. So you can sign now, or of course send that email request. If we're going to sign now, which we're doing in our example here, it will require that the client submit their ID number, their name, list the last 4 digits of their social, their birth date, and their email address. This is verifying their information. They'll click on verified, and then it'll take them back through the application for them to review each of the application pages. As they click on this application for individual deferred annuity section, they will click on this box here, and it'll pop them down to the next set of forms, the suitability confirmation worksheet. Then they'll again click I have reviewed. Once they've gone through all of the application pages and verified the information is correct, it brings them to the capture electronic signature section. This section is truly the signing ceremony, where they will type in their name, the city where they're signing the paperwork, and they can sign on this section here where Cynthia's name is listed. They can sign on this with a mouse pad, or simply type in their name and click I consent right here. And that's truly, they're done. It's as simple as that. They've signed the documents. You'll go through the same process with you as the writing agent. Complete the information, type your name in, hit I consent, and the signing ceremony is completed. It's such a great process. The next prompt you'll get, this is the final confirmation dialog, and this will submit the application to the IAMS review queue. So once you do hit yes, no further edits are allowed. You can't make any alterations to the paperwork. It's submitted and it's going to the carrier. So if we click yes, it's been sent to the IAMS review queue, where our team will get that paperwork or that electronic file, and we will submit it to the carrier on your behalf. The client does receive some automated correspondence from you as the writing agent, thanking them for the application and letting them know that the download or printable version of that application is available to them if they'd like to do so. And then, of course, you as the writing agent will also receive some correspondence that once the application has fully been transmitted to the carrier. If you'd still like to put pen to paper, you have a few different ways to submit the applications to IAMS. We've got a dedicated email inbox just for our annuity applications that you can email to. That's annuitynewbusiness@iamsinc.com. Of course, the FireLight e-application is an option for you. Many carriers now will allow faxed copies of paperwork. They don't require originals any longer. In fact, most of our carriers will allow for a copy, so you can fax that paperwork to us. And then, of course, we have our overnight street address as well, if you'd like to overnight a check or overnight the application to us. Any way you submit your business to us, of course, we appreciate your partnership, and we remain committed to processing your business timely and accurately. So please know that we definitely will continue to work hard to make sure everything is submitted correctly to the carrier and follow up accordingly. One of the last things I wanted to mention to you is we do have a little incentive for your first applications via e-applications through our website for November and December. So exclusively in November and December, your first e-application will get you some IAMS swag, and then also an entry toward a cash prize. And each additional FireLight e-application submitted through our website in November and December will act as one entry towards weekly cash prizes. We'll be drawing those each week. So definitely get in on that. If you have any questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me directly. Again, my name's Amber Williams, or you can reach out to our FireLight support staff as well. Our number here is on the screen, of course, 800-255-5055. Thanks again so much for your time this morning, and have a good day.